Hello and welcome to Foundations for Algebra, Unit 2B, Lesson 8. The objective is scholars will understand correlation and create lines of best fit to represent data. So what is correlation? Well, correlation is a pattern or relationship between two pieces of data. One important thing to remember is that correlation does not mean causation. Just because two things are correlated does not mean one causes the other. So there are different types of correlation. So we have positive linear correlation. You can see here that the points lie close to a line. As x increases, y increases. You'll notice we can sort of draw a line to represent this. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Then we have a negative linear correlation. In this case, again, the points lie close to the line, but as x increases, y decreases. So if I drew a line to represent this data, it would be it would have a negative slope. Next, we have a non-linear relationship. So we can see on this graph that there is definitely a pattern. You can see this sort of curve, but it's not a line. So the points lie in a shape of a curve. We could draw a curve, but we're not going to worry about trying to draw. You could use this to make estimates, but we don't need to worry about being able to do a line for it. So this one is a non-linear relationship. Finally, we could have no relationship. So you'll notice here in this no relationship, the points show no pattern. Knowing what my x value is does nothing to tell me anything about my y value. There's no pattern here. The dots are sort of everywhere. So next, let's talk about what is a line of best fit. So a line of best fit is a line that represents the data, and it can be used to make estimates and approximations of expected data points. So you'll see here a scatter plot that has a negative correlation. You see the line that represents the data is negative. And you can see that they've written the equation for this line. Y equals negative 1.223 times x plus 230.33. Now that's really, really exact, and calculators can do that. But you need to be able to create a line of best fit to represent your data that has correlation without using the calculator. So we're going to go over how to do that. So we can use this in order to find things. Let's go to here. How can we use correlation? So we are going to look at this graph and we are going to find the line. So in order to do this, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw an oval around our data points. So we just sort of draw an oval around our data points. And then we're going to draw our line straight through this oval. And this is our line. Now, we need to be able to write an equation for it. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b. So we need to find our m and our b. So first, our b. Remember, b is just your y-intercept. So I'm just going to look over here and say, okay, so where does it cross? That looks like it's about, I'd say like a 0.8. So if b is 0.8, I have a point here, right? That's the point. 0.8 is a point. I need one more point in order to find my slope. Because remember, we'll do change in y over change in x. So I need another point. So I see when I look at this graph right here, I seem to be pretty much going through a point. So the point would be 4, 4. So that's my other point is 4, 4. Now I'm going to use that, just like I've used it before, to find my slope. So I have change in y, so 4 minus 0.8 over change in x, which is 4 minus 0. So 4 minus 0.8 gives me 3.0. 3.2. And 4 minus 0 gives me 4. So I have 3.2 over 4, which I can divide and get 0.8, which is funny. Okay, so now I just need to plug these in to get my equation. So I have y equals m. So this, here we get this number. It's to be 0.8x. And then we are going to do plus 0.8, which is our b. So that is our equation for that line. Let's try one more together, and then you can do some practice on your own. Okay, again, I have this wonderful data. And I can see this one sort of has a negative correlation. When I draw my oval around my data points, it looks like that. And now I'm going to draw my line. So this line's sort of going to go right through the middle here. So again, I need to find B and M. So I see my B right here. Looks like about 7.5. And again, that gives me the point 0, 7.5. And then another point that I see that looks pretty close is, let me do another color so it's easy for you guys to tell. Right here, which is 6 and 3. So when I go to do my math, I have 7.5 minus 3 over 0 minus 6. Well, 7.5 minus 3 gives me 4.5 over negative 6, which, if I divide, I end up with 1.25. So again, I'm going to now put this into my equation. So I have y equals m 1.25 times x. Oh, and actually, this should be a negative 1.25. This is a negative slope. Negative 1.25 plus 7.5, which is b. Okay, so go ahead and do your classwork, which is Mobius, and your IXL, and I will see you in class.